What is going on, investors? My name's Emmanuel, and I'm going to try to record this video without getting overly excited, because if you've already subscribed to this channel, then you probably already know that I absolutely love red days. I'm fully subscribed to the notion that you should be buying when there is blood in the streets, and wow, oh wow, Wall Street was very, very red today. And I think I would like to start off this video with some wise words from Peter Lynch, who said, an important key to investing is to remember that stocks are not lottery tickets. There is a company behind every stock. So with that said, I have received a ton of questions from you guys on Instagram. I mean, you guys have been sliding in my DMs non-stop today regarding Tattooed Chef. And I thought it would be a great idea to share my answers to those questions to everyone on this channel. So what I've decided to do, I've rounded up the top 5 most commonly asked questions regarding Tattooed Chef. The idea is I'll be answering all of them in detail. So the questions are as follows. Number 1, has my thoughts regarding Tattooed Chef changed since the merger? Number 2, what is my current share position? Have I bought any more shares since the recent price correction? Let's call it a correction. Number 3, what are my price targets and also my future predictions for the company? And number 4, why is the stock falling, and will I now consider selling my position as the stock price has crashed over 20% in a week? And number 5, why didn't I invest in Beyond Meat? They're a much more established company. So these are the questions that I'll be answering in today's video, investors. We do have a ton of information because I am not answering them lighthearted. I am going in depth. So right before we do jump into the video, please don't forget to smash the like button. It lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. And also, if you are new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my stock analysis, all the stocks that I buy, sell, and that are on my watch list, as well as any major stock related news. With that said, stay locked in, watch until the end, and let's dive into the video. All right, so the first question, has my thoughts regarding Tattooed Chef changed post-merger? And the simple answer to that question is absolutely. It absolutely has changed. I am now more bullish than ever towards this company post-merger, and it's purely based on the combination of these 2 new developments. Okay, so first of which is Tattooed Chef last week officially announced the scheduled launch of their e-commerce site, which will enable Tattooed Chef customers to purchase their favorite Tattooed Chef products nationwide, literally direct to consumer. And this will be going live as of right now because it's officially been launched. In fact, I retweeted the announcement today. It's officially live. Now, this is something that they'd mentioned they have in the pipeline when I first covered Tattooed Chef, and the link to that video is actually in the description below, so check it out if you haven't. But truth be told, when I made that video, I had no idea that they were planning on launching it this soon after the merger was announced. I mean, the merger was 2 weeks ago, and then last week they announced that they're going live on their website. So I was expecting the news to be announced, you know, sometime in Q1 next year. So when I saw this was incredibly exciting to see. But I do want to bring the article to your attention and also show you what Sarah, who is the creative director, what she has to say and why this actually gets me so pumped up as a Tattooed Chef investor. So Sarah said, we are ecstatic to now have our products available online and available to ship direct to consumer. We are dedicated to launching innovative products and making them accessible to our customers across the country. We launched a new company website to increase usability and flow, and on our e-commerce site will help accelerate our growth and consumer reach, as well as enhance brand awareness. This has been an impactful year for us, and we have continued to expand our distribution and have record revenue. And the launch of our e-commerce site will enhance the reach of all our Tattooed Chef products. I have never been more confident in the growth opportunities for Tattooed Chef, and I'm so excited for the future. And I will say it right now, so am I. Right, so before we continue, I do want to highlight some key points in what Sarah said. First is nationwide accessibility for consumers. Second is accelerated growth. Third is continued expansion and distribution. And lastly was record revenues. Now, this is a huge deal because think about it. Up until now, as we saw in the investor presentation, a large majority of their revenue was initially generated from private labeling sales, you know, back in 2017. And if you recall from the investor presentation, 93% of the sales was from private labeling in Costco, Walmart's, and Sam's Club. And they were able to generate $32.5 million. Again, no e-commerce site, Nothing, just private labeling. In 2018, they generated $47.3 million, again from purely private labeling, which equated to 94% of revenue. And in 2019, they really started to push the Tattooed Chef branded products, and 26% of total sales were branded products, while 74% was from private labeling. And the combined revenue totaled $84 million. And again, I do want to highlight and stress there was no e-commerce site. This is simply people going into the likes of Costco and Walmart and picking up Tattooed Chef branded products. So now, fast forward to 2020, and based on the current sales and trajectory, they are forecasting $148 million in revenue, and 52% of that revenue will be branded products, and 48% will be private labeling. Again, this proves the popularity of the brand, and now that they are launching the e-commerce site, again increasing accessibility for their customers, I think this will significantly boost revenue, which is what they stated in the news article. And you can also start to see how their projected revenue for 2021 of $222 million, 63% of which will be branded product sales, is not just a fantasy anymore, but in fact can actually be a reality. And depending on how hard they really push the e-commerce site, I think they could potentially exceed these projected figures. And as Benjamin Graham said in The Intelligent Investor, stocks do well or poorly in the future because the businesses behind them do well or poorly. Nothing more, nothing less. And I am fully convinced that Tattooed Chef will continue to do well in the long term, and I'm excited to see what 2021 has in store for this growth company. Now, the second reason why I'm so bullish is because Tattooed Chef is in a disruptive industry that is growing at double-digit rates. In my previous Tattooed Chef video, I revealed some interesting statistics from the Good Food Institute, which revealed that the dollar sales of plant-based food grew by 11% in the past year and 29% over the past 2 years. And they also compared that to the normal US food retail sector, which only grew 2% within the past year and only 4% over the past 2 years. So has that fundamental changed because the share price of Tattooed Chef has dropped drastically? No, absolutely not. And as long as this remains to be the case, I believe Tattooed Chef as a company will continue to do well in this double-digit growing industry. So that's the answer to question 1, which was a lot, but I really did want to hit home this point. And remember, if a company that you have invested in is doing well, they continue to grow their revenues and have a detailed plan for further expansion, as well as the industry that it's in is growing at a rapid pace or in double-digit pace, but the share price is falling, for me personally, I see that as an incredible opportunity to pick up amazing stocks, an amazing company at bargain prices. But that's just me. Remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please make sure you check the fundamentals of your company. All right, so that's the first question done. So the second question is, what is my current share position? Have I bought more shares since the recent price correction? And I actually did pick up more shares last week at $19 a piece, and I ended up picking up even more shares today. And if you check my Twitter, my Instagram, you'll be able to see all of my shenanigans on there. But I do now have a total of 150 shares, and my average price on those shares is now $20.85. So yes, I am down by a bit in my position, but like I said, this is great for me because I plan to build my position to at least 200 shares. And as the price continues to fall, which I actually hope it does, I'll pick up more shares and simply bring my average price down. And when I hit 200, I am in this position for at least the next 5 years. And the only time I would actually consider selling is if the revenues for Tattooed Chef begins to fall quite drastically, all right? And also, if the plant-based food industry as a whole starts to slow significantly, then I would reconsider my position because the change of fundamentals. So that answers question 2. All right, so the third question is, what are my price targets and what are my future predictions for Tattooed Chef? And to be honest, investors, that really does depend on how efficient Tattooed Chef are at rolling out more innovative products and also more brands, and also its ability to attract new customers. Because if the business does well, then the stock will do well in the long term, as Benjamin Graham has pointed out. So with that said, I can quite easily see this stock being a $40, $50 stock within the next 2 to 3 years, which would pretty much mean you're doubling up on your investment at the current prices. So this is a long-term hold for me, and I predict it will do well because I do like the management and I like Sarah Galetti's innovative thinking, and I believe as long as she remains actively involved in the creative side of the business, then I do predict future long-term growth for this company. That answers question 3. So question 4. Why do I think the stock is falling, and will I consider selling my position? So I think I've already answered the second part to this question, and you now know when I would consider selling my position in Tattooed Chef. But for now, I remain very, very bullish. But why do I think the stock has dropped quite significantly over the past week? One, I believe because overall the market has dropped, okay? So the market is down overall today. But the second reason I think is because the merger has taken place. I mean, if you look at the current trends for popular SPAC mergers this year, they have followed a similar pattern with the exception of Nikola. Most SPACs have a ton of traders taking up positions, okay? Pushing the stock price higher on the hopes that on the merger, the stock price would shoot up like crazy, because that's what happened to Nikola a few months ago. When the merger happened, Nikola went to $90. But the reality is, for the large majority of SPACs, this hasn't actually been the case. Majority of the SPACs saw a huge run-up in the wake to the merger dates, and when the merger occurred, it didn't spike up like the masses of traders were expecting, and they just simply end up dumping their shares and move on to the next hot SPAC play. Because let's just be honest, they had no interest in the company in the first place. And if you look at it, the exact same thing happened to Helion when they also merged, and we are now seeing the exact same thing transpire with Lordstown's Motors. Both of these companies had massive run-ups in the anticipation of a huge spike at the merger. That didn't happen, and the traders exited their positions by selling. And of course, selling pressure pushes the price lower. So now I believe the same thing is happening right now with Tattooed Chef. And if you're not sure of this, then I urge you to take a look at the trading volume in these SPACs prior to the merger date versus the trading volume post-merger. It's a huge world of difference. So the reality is these traders are exiting the stock, and in my opinion, is creating an opportunity for investors who genuinely love the company, who also see long-term potential growth of the business, to get in at really decent and realistic valuations. So that's why Tattooed Chef has taken a huge hit in my opinion, and that's also why I believe Helion, Lordstown's Motors, and the rest are also falling. And if you believe in these businesses in the long term, then frankly, this is your opportunity. The stocks are on sale. All right, so the last question is, why didn't I invest in Beyond Meat instead? Because they are a much more established company. And I think the answer is actually in the question. Beyond Meat are already an established company. I'm not debating that. I am not arguing that at all. They have already experienced the initial exponential growth phase when they went public last year. I think it was in 2019. So, and don't get me wrong, the share price will probably continue to rise and do well as the business continues to do well, and also as they continue to grow their sales and their revenues. However, Tattooed Chef are right at the beginning of that exponential growth phase, and I really want to be right there, strongly strapped in, ready for that ride when it does eventually take off. And don't get me wrong, it may not be as explosive as Beyond Meat, but in my opinion, there is still a massive runway ahead of Tattooed Chef as they begin their growth phase. So those are my answers, investors. I hope this helped settle some nerves. And if you do have any more questions, then of course hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description below. Jump in the DMs on Instagram or send me a message on Twitter. I'll be happy to answer. But with all that said, please make sure you do your own due diligence before you decide to invest in any stock. I said it during the video. I'm going to say it once again. I am not a financial advisor, so please view my content as purely educational and not investing advice. And if you do want to learn about investing in stocks, there are some useful links in the description below. So please check them out if you haven't already. Plus, my broker Trading 212 will send us both free shares if you sign up using the link in the description below. So with all that said, guys, don't forget to smash the like button if you gained some value from this video. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to see more content from me. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.